Okay, guys, so as promised before, I went to a little RV vacation. I'm going to work on some of the kits that Anna Griffin has released singly from the Create 10 that she's released there on HSN. I do believe some of these things on her site. I did check last time before I did the unboxings. I want to show you kind of what's in the packaging, like what's in them, since HSN just has them listed, but doesn't really, they haven't presented them. It would be the Corset album, the French fans, and then the theatrical cards. And so I showed you guys all of them. I unboxed them. I use these during Create 10, but people asked for tutorials of the French fans and of the Corset album. That's the ones that were requested the most. I don't think anybody asked about the theatrical cards. It's not hard, guys. It's like any other card where you open it. It's the same thing, but either way, this is what people were requesting, so I super appreciate it and thank you guys so much for that. I've been back for a few days now. Kids are at school and I can focus on something like this because they do take more time. So I'll link these in the description box, possibly embed in the video here, and those would be affiliate links, which means I'll make a small commission if you purchase items to those links. Today I think I'm gonna do the Corset album. I think they both take about the same amount of time. Actually, I didn't grab the sample of the forest fans, of the French fans, but I do have the sample I made of the Corset album. I just used papers that were in my stash. I didn't want to cut into these pretty papers, especially because I wasn't sure about this project in general, like what I was going to use it for, who I'm going to give it to. Like, it's very specific. I mean, it's very wedding, right? Kind of, I don't know, bridal shower kind of feel, right? I don't know. That's how I see it. And maybe you can dress it up differently so it just looks like a little top. I don't know. But this is what we did during Create 10, and I made a sample. So when I say this is what we did, this isn't exactly what was going on. It was more like the example I am assuming here. So let's look at the instruction you would receive. Somebody had asked me that they were asked about the instructions. They said they were going to buy the Create 10 instructions. I think they're available there on Anna Griffin's site. Oh, that's what I meant to say. That one of my other friends here said that the hat box individual package is available on Anna Griffin's site. I didn't check right now because I need to get to work, so I didn't go to check today. But if it's there, that one is my favorite. I think this is so cute, my all-time favorite. I mean, just to make a little hat like this and maybe make it into a little gift box. I'm sure that's easy to do. Just don't glue this down. Maybe cut away something. I don't know. But something like that. This one is adorable. And a lot of times people assume that I work with Anna Griffin the way I work with like some other companies. I do not. I don't think she really does that with anybody. I feel like they keep it very close to, what they do. So I purchase these items and I'm, all that kind of stuff. So like I said, I don't really know anything about her site. But today, right now, as I'm speaking, because I didn't check. But you can definitely check that out. Now, I will say, see how cute this is, the way it's tied on the side? The little bow. What happened is, and it actually confused me when I went to show you guys. I'm like, why did I put this like this? That doesn't make any sense. Because you're going to tie it back, It's because if you only tie on one side, let's say you put two little ties over here. One on the back, one on this front cover. This back piece is still going to be flopping open, right? Because it's not closed. So I guess the way they figured was to just put it in the front and then bring it around. So again, you can tie it on the side. I tied it in the back and I thought that looks weird, but it's because it looks a little cuter if it's tied on the side. Okay, so we'll look at the project in just a moment, but yeah, it's meant to be here. Now I would have loved for it to come all around, but it just doesn't work that way. So you can tie it on the side. And I'll think about that whenever I do this, because I would cut this down a little bit so it makes more sense. But anyhow, so this is the Corset album. They did 4 flaps, 4, not flaps, but these guys, you can do, as many as you want, right? If you, the sky's the limit, like I had mentioned in the unboxing video. The only thing is you can think about it as you're working with it, like it's going to be bigger and bigger and bigger, right? So it might be harder to hold. And then, of course, you can decorate the back ones too, because even though they're on the back, something like that. These guys are some small areas for pictures. You're definitely going to have to crop your pictures down because the matte layers themselves, I'm measuring the background one, is like 5 1/4, just over 5 1/4 by 3 1/4-ish. So, I mean, if you're going to cut something, it's going to be like just over 4 inches. And I'm looking at the very inside of this, so obviously you can leave a little lace ruffle 2 1/4. If you make it a little bit bigger, just this little lace area sticking out, your picture can be just a little bit bigger, but you are going to do a lot of cropping for this because it's not a typical image size. But I measured what they're showing here, right? Like that sizing. We'll look at the dies in just a moment. Yeah, okay. That's what I was looking at. It does come with a die that you can cut into this, you know, to make your matte layer a picture. So you don't have to crop it by hand, right? But maybe you can match those up and then make like a frame. Put it on top of your picture. I don't know. Hope that makes sense. So what they're showing here is, yeah, to do 4. The kit does come with some thicker, kind of chipboardish almost. It's more like a poster board. It's just a little bit thicker. It's not quite chipboard. I'm just going to layer up 2 pieces of white cardstock because that's what I prefer to do. It's less expensive than what's in here. And again, if I'm not sure what I'm going to do with this, you know, like this one, I still have it here. And this was just a mock-up. On the back, I used paper that didn't even cut the whole thing. I just doubled it over, you know, so just to have an idea of what this would look like. But, so there you go. And I just used scraps of paper that I had in my stash. I was telling you need 10 lace borders, so we'll talk about that in just a moment. You know, your embellishments, your corset pieces, obviously the card bases times 6, because it's not really times 6. Well, it depends on what you're doing. But one needs to cover the front, one needs to cover the back of each chipboard, or the front and the back, right? So one of them is chipboard. So you know, it says card base times 6. I guess they're including the chipboard as one of those 6, 2 of those 6. We'll get to that all. And so anyway, they're walking you through here. So the person's question was, is it worth buying the instructions? The instructions are printed really nicely. I think I have some. Do I have some here? Oh, I do. Let me grab that. So whenever sometimes when you're at Create or Crop at home, if you buy another kit, they're like 50% off or roughly. And they usually, well, not usually. Sometimes they come with the instruction. They don't come with the instruction in the first, like when I bought it right now through HSN or Anna Griffin before. No, they give you downloads and you download it. You can print it out. But if you buy theirs, or if they happen to come with the kit, 'cause sometimes it'll say there, instructions included, or otherwise they will point out very clearly that the instructions are not included with the kit, right? So just always read the listing. They come like this. And I've taken them to, I'll say Kinko's, but basically Staples, to have them bound. And I showed you guys that, I think in a short video. I might have shown you in a video like this, but oh, they're over here. Hold on. Like this one. This is Crop at Home 4. And I get them bound like this, okay, guys? So they have different bindings, and then they put the little cover on for you, and they put a back cover too. So really nice. I wasn't expecting that. I thought it was just going to be, you know, these papers with this, and it's only like $2 or $3. I want to say maybe 5. I want to say it was less than $5. But anyway, let's see how they do it so that when I open it up, it's like this. So the papers are nice. It's a beautiful off-white, as you can see that. They're full color. So they're really nice. So if you want to spend the $80, $75, whatever it is that they're charging for them, that's great. I will say this set, for some reason, came stapled, and it drove me nuts. I'm like, why are these stapled? So I'm going to have to go through and take all those staples out because they are not necessary. That was the only times. This is Crop at Home 2, and they were stapled. I have some other ones bound over there, and then this is Crop at Home 3. I want to say I have 2 sets of instructions for some reason of one of these, but anyway. I don't know if I got the Create 10 instructions. I might have to download those. But they are a little more in-depth and a little bit different than this, okay, instruction. So you kind of had an idea. You saw a quick image of kind of what those look like. And they walk you through step by step by step of everything. So I think they're worth it. If they're on sale. Right, so $75, $80, that's a lot. That's a lot. I'm talking about $35, $40. I'm like, okay, maybe I'll go for it. And then, you know, we're seeing here what you can do. So we'll do very much similar what's in here, and then obviously adorn them and all that kind of stuff. I'm thinking I might use some of this paisley that I still have left, because I have a whole sheet of paisley plus some other little fun sheets. So I'm like, maybe I use paisley, you know, to do this. Otherwise, your kit comes with all these gorgeous things. I'll link the video where I went through everything, so I'm not going to do that again today. We're just going to get right to it. So you do have all these embellishments, all this pretty stuff. But right now, what I want is this stuff. And then I'm just going to grab things again from my stash. And to get those going. So let's see. I will be right back. But if I just grab this whole pile and I'm like, okay, obviously we have all these decorations. This I probably won't need. But I'll put these things in here. All these extra little bits that maybe I won't be using today. But it's nice to have. So yeah, I have this full sheet. I don't know if that's going to be enough. let's see. You're not going to see a whole lot on the front because you're going to cover it with this stuff. And then you have all these ruffles and all these things. So like you don't really see a lot of this. So in my mind, I thought if I had enough to just do one pretty part like on the inside, see how these are kind of, it doesn't give you enough, I don't think, to get two of these. But maybe if I go right to the edge, maybe I can butt this one up in here somewhere. What's a bummer about that is that unless you have a machine that cuts 12-inch squares, like the whole paper, you're going to have to cut this down before you really know. But I'll cut it really close to this. I do have this little extra bit, but see, this isn't big enough either. Okay, well, let's see. Either way, in my mind, I was just going to do very plain fronts and backs. So you're going to need one of these. If you're using the chipboard, you're going to need to run the chipboard once. They're calling it chipboard. It's not really chipboard. Like I said, it's just a, I don't know, poster weight. You do have this, like in this Paisley kit, we have this paper. This would be really nice if you can get this cut through there. I don't know, but that would be nice because this is actually nice and weighty. Cereal box is a little bit thinner, you know, things like that. So what I'm going to do right now is just run this through. Since I'm just going to use white cardstock, I'll grab right now. So this is extra heavyweight cardstock. It has a nice weight to it. I mean, I probably can just use one. I did use two, but see how it's just an awkward size, this guy. Let me give you the sizing just in case you have a machine that's not going to be able to cut this. It is just under 7 inches, like just under 7 inches by 8. So, you know, most like standard machines are like 6-inch openings unless you have something wider or bigger. So anyway, I'm still going to use 2. So I'm going to use 2 of these as the core because we want it to be nice and heavyweight. So I'm going to cut 4 of this white cardstock, okay, of this larger guy, just to get started. We're not doing anything else right now, just cutting these pieces. And then I'm going to cut, if I can get it from this paper, 2 of these, like one here. And hopefully I'm going to cut it right close with a scissor so that maybe I can get the rest of it from here. It's hard to tell how deep this goes. You know, you think it looks like it would fit there. But it might not, guys. That's really kind of a bummer. We will see. Hopefully I can get that going. Okay. Either way, you're going to need 4 of whatever pattern paper or solid colors, whatever it is that you want, but you're going to use those to cover the front and the back of this, right? You know, the chipboard pieces. Let me show you in the instructions so we are clear here. Front, right? Back. Front, that's the back, and then the front on the other side. You need to cover them up, basically, right? So you need one, you know, to cover the front and cover the back of each front and back piece. So I will be right back. That's just easy run through. I'll be right back. I do want to show you to conserve as much as I can. I did this, but I wish they had come up with numbers that would let you do this, you know? Because look at that. Just the smallest piece that doesn't fit there. If I can make it work, I will, but I don't think I can. We'll see. Okay, I'll be back. Okay, only because I, you know, can't leave good enough alone here. There's this little piece right here I'm missing, but you know what? I'll put like a sticker over that. Even though it's not symmetrical like this, you're not going to see that much of it. That's why, like, it's not that big a deal. And actually, maybe I'll straighten it out and then put a sticker there. Something that's going to cover that up. It won't be a problem. As tough as I'm cutting this, I kind of like this side better. We'll see. Will say if you're looking at your whole project and you want to do some things a little quicker, like I'm going to run this whole thing through, there's also a need for 10 of those straight pieces. I'll show you. These straight lace pieces. So straight laced. If you want to run those through while you're running through the white paper, that would be good because you're going to need them anyway. So that way you have to run that white paper through 4 times if you're doing what I'm doing instead of using the chipboard. You are only going to have so much chipboard in there. I think there's enough for one project, so obviously you're going to have to do something later. So go ahead and just place that on there, right? And get that going too. Okay guys, I did cut the main pages that I need. I will say you probably want to go ahead and cut the 10 of these guys that you need because some of them you have to sandwich in between some of these layers so that they're hidden, but you still have this cute little ruffle sticking out from behind. I will probably also turn on my glue gun, or yeah, I'm going to do a glue gun. Whatever glue you like to use. I did use the liner tape last time that was included in the Create 10 kit. And as you can see, it's just like, it's coming out. So I need to probably pop some glue in there. Again, I don't like liner tape for 3D things. I don't feel like it holds as well as you would like. But you're going to do something like this. So see, this is tucked under here. And actually, that's tucked in between these 2 different layers. But if you want to sandwich this part, see how this is the nice sheet, this is a nice one. This is actually the die that goes on top of these guys. So maybe you don't have to care about it quite yet, but since you're already cutting them out, go ahead and cut out if you're gonna do the little white, or like this one, I used the color because I thought it was cute. So you need 10 of these, okay? Okay guys, so I have these, and actually I should have turned on my glue gun, but that's okay, I'll do that in just a moment. So if you follow the instructions, I know it seems like there's a lot of front and back and, you know, those kinds of things. So what they're saying is on the front cover is just to adhere everything together, okay? But you are going to want to put, you know, this in here. So, you know, you can put it in between these guys, you can put it in between these layers, right? So from here to here, or in between the layers that we're going to stick together right now. That's up to you, you know, but I guess I'll probably leave it at the end, kind of like they're saying, in between here. But let's say it's a really dark color and you don't want it to show through here or something, then I would sandwich in between these layers, like these main layers. And then on the other one, it is telling you to sandwich some of the lace in between. You know, they kind of drop off on the instruction over here. That's the issue. So here they're showing you to put those extra bits here. And that's for the back cover. But on this picture, on the front cover, they also have the little petticoat, kind of like little white lace sticking out, but they don't talk about it. Okay? It's kind of sticking out there too. See, both layers have it. They don't talk about it again for this front one. At least I don't see it. Right? So like, yeah. I don't know. It just says to adhere a set of lace borders to the front of the corset pieces, and they're showing it being this part of this decorative piece, not the main panels. So whenever you want to stick this in there, go for it. If you want to put in between the layers like they're doing on the other, you know, on the back side, I think that's probably the better place to put it, but you know, whatever. Look at this, all this falling apart from the tape. So we're going to do it like this. So we're just going to do the instruction kind of like they're talking about, but that means one of the lace panels is going to be underneath. The other one's going to be like, it doesn't matter. So you guys know I cut these guys out to make them basically like the chipboard thickness. So I'm going to layer these together, rough cut side to rough cut side, for no reason other than they are rough cut sides and I like to keep those together. So I'm going to glue these together. Again, once you run out of that chipboard, unless you have more poster board, it's pretty much like the Dollar Tree poster board, you know what I'm saying, where it's a little bit thicker. But is it really? I don't know. But it does have like that brown core. Theirs is all white. I don't know if the Dollar Tree one is all white. I don't remember. But I'm just doing it this way. So again, once you run out of that, you're going to have to supply your own anyway. So this is 2, you know, extra heavyweight cardstock. And I'm putting them back to back. They are pretty much symmetrical, so I don't think that's a problem. Rough side, rough side. I'm going to do the same thing with this one. Rough side to rough side. Glue those together, okay? And then we'll start dealing with some more pretty panels. Okay, I already have my hot glue gun fired up. That looks funny. And again, now, since we did this, we can start with basically the instruction here, if that's what you want to follow along. So for your front cover, you have the 2 pieces. The piece that's going to be facing the front, you can barely see it. That's why I'm not using my paisley. I mean, you can barely see it under there, right? So I just cut this pretty paper. And then I did decide to use the other side of this because I do like the way this looks better. So if I had done that, I would have put my die on this side because now I have the rough cut side showing, but not the biggest deal. I know a friend of mine, Dad always mentions go over it with like a silicone tip. Some people will say run it back through your die cutting machine just like this and it kind of flattens out that little rough cut, you know, how it looks nice here. It's kind of like rounded. But this is the rough cut side, and I'm okay with that. Okay, so again, I'm using this one on the back because I did mess it up. You know what I'm saying? Trying to use that same sheet to get those 2. If they just made it a little bit smaller, we could get 2 from one 12-inch piece of paper, but that's okay. So this is going to be the inside of this one, and this is going to, this is going to be the front cover, okay? And this is going to be the inside, of course, of that. Obviously you need something pretty there. So I'm going to glue these guys down. And again, if you want to put that little ruffle in between these layers, you can definitely do that. I'm going to put them in between the decorative layer and this one. On the other one, they are recommending to put it in between these layers. So this is the front cover. We'll talk about the back cover in just a moment. Said hot glue is heating up and that'll be ready to go. So this one, this is going to be my front cover. Just a little bit of this paper is going to show. Honestly, maybe you don't even have to line it because You barely, I mean, can you even see it here? The littlest there. If you just want to leave it white, I don't think it's the biggest deal. But it all adds to the sturdiness, so I don't mind that. And then this is the inside of the front cover. So I'm just going to put glue on that and glue that down too. Okay? And I'll be right back. So, okay, that is my front cover. Covered, everything good to go. That'll be the, oh, actually faces front. And see, I mean, they're, I don't know. You know when you run something through and you have those dies, they kind of stretch a little bit, so they're not always going to be exactly the same, even though it's a die and you think, oh, it's all going to be the same. Not really. Sometimes they stretch in a way that it just isn't going to line up later. Okay, I'm also going to glue this one down to this guy. Remember, I'm going to put something there to kind of cover that up. But I'm just going to glue this down. Now this one, I mean, honestly, is like way different. Let me see if I can do it on this side. That looks a little better. It shouldn't matter, but that does. This is what I'm trying to explain to you guys. When you run this through a die cutting machine, you see that little give? That might happen as you're running it through. It might stretch a little or do something funny or even come in. So it just changes it a little bit. Okay, so I'm just gonna glue this one down then. Actually, I like the way it looked on this other side better. And then, so we're done with the front cover for right now. We're gonna put that to the side. This is the back cover. When we go to do this side, the back side, we're going to stick these little things in between before we sandwich this on top. It's going to make a little bump, but again, put it where you like. It kind of has to go here because on the back cover, you're not going to put anything else. So it has to kind of go in between these layers, you know? So for right now, I'm going to go ahead and do this inside layer. And before we put down the back one, we're going to crunch in those little lacy bits, okay? So I have that. Yeah, it's so funny because if you look at it, it's pretty good. But then this is kind of way off. And on this side, it's wider here than the rest. You know, even on both sides. Again, paper, dye, the way it took it in. I'm going to put this down because then we're going to use some hot glue and I don't want it to get all over the place. So what you're supposed to take with these guys is just take them and crunch them up. Okay, so these are the straight pieces. Just give them a crunch, crunch, crunch. And they're showing one at the top, like one on either side of the little bust area, and then at the bottom. Okay, so they're also saying to stick it to this piece, but we haven't worked on that piece yet, so don't worry about that right now. So they want you to add a set to that, but then also add a set to this before you put that back cover on. So I'm just going to take a moment and just crunch them all. We have 10 of them. Just kind of mess with them like this, guys. There's no rhyme or reason. I'm just messing with them. It does say pleat them, so I don't know if you want to follow the little curves. Maybe you want to go up here, down there, you know, something more. It doesn't really matter. You're just going to make it stretch anyway. Okay, so you can see how I'm just crunching them up, basically. Okay, so I will be right back. I'm going to do all 10. Actually, no, I'm not going to do all 10. I'm going to do 8 of them. 1, 1, 1, 1, that's 4. You need 2 of these for the very front, so you don't want to crunch 2 of them, okay? So I'm going to crunch up 8 of them. I'm going to put these to the side. Be right back. Okay, I'm a little scared to do this because of the hot glue, but that's all right. So basically, you're trying to stick these in here. So let's get down a little bit closer. And maybe I do a little bit at a time. So I'm going to start here. And really, it depends on how deep you want this because you want it to show. So the little curvy areas of it is where I'll start down here and just stick those down. But also, when you come and put that other paper on top, like, you want to be able to crunch this down. Oh, yeah, that's right. And the nice side I'm having it face me because we're going to top that with the other paper and you want it to look nice. So the rough cut side is facing towards the inside of the book. And I'm just doing a little at a time, guys. So essentially, after you're done with that, when you come in with this, you're going to put this on top. Okay, so you kind of want it really close to the very edge. And if you have too much ruffle, you can cut it off, you know, once you get to the very end here. I'm not trying to get it too thick. Because we're going to put that little pink paper back on top. So last time I used the whole ruffle, and it looks like I might do that this time too, but see how sometimes it's too much? I'm trying to flatten it out. Just so when this sits on top, it's not the thickest paper. It's not just like being weird. Hope that makes sense. Okay. And again, if you have a little too much at the end, just cut it off. Or like this one, I kind of tucked it down, just left it flat. Okay, and I'll do the same thing with this one. We'll start here. And make it real cute. I'm kind of trying to flatten it out as I go. Because, you know, hot glue, it'll stay kind of lumpy if you don't flatten it a little bit as I go along. Still trying to keep it towards the very edge. And I'm showing you how I'm doing it here because when I go to another one, I don't want to waste your time. It's going to be the same kind of thing where you just kind of follow along. But it is quite lumpy, I will say. And there we go. And I could have started this one at the edge the other way because again, once you get to a certain part, you're going to have some left over possibly, unless you really shove it in there like I'm trying to do right here at the very end. Okay. Again, trying to keep it towards the edge, but, you know, as best you can. Like this one's probably a little bit too low, but that's all right. Okay. And then you're supposed to add 2 more down here. So basically wherever... Starting this one, I'm not keeping this one as crunched up because I am still flattening it, but what I'm trying to say is that you have to get to the middle, right? And so this area is a little bit bigger than that bust area. I'm still trying to stick it down, glue it down really nicely along the edge. Still trying to crunch it up so it looks cute. To like here. I'm gonna crunch it just a little more and flatten it out because again, we're gonna put that other piece. And if you feel like it's too lumpy, then cut yourself another piece and back this so that when you put it on top, it just sits nicely, right? Okay, we're gonna finish this up. So again, that's why you need 4. So they show you that in the pictures there. So as I'm going, I'm kind of trying to keep it a little flat. Get that glue on there. I feel like in that bust area, you have to take a little more care. Here, it's kind of just fun. It's fine. A little crunchy at the very end. Push that down. Okay. And now I'm not burning my fingers somehow, magically. But yeah, let me really impress upon you to flatten this out because I think that's part of my problem. On the other one, I need something to help me, like, really crunch it down. And there we go. It is paper, so it'll crease, as you know. Again, do you want glue? You want hot glue? Hot glue sometimes is not my favorite to use for things like this because you have to work quick or else it's going to start coming apart. Like, it won't flatten out anymore. So right now I'm going to put this right on here and push it down really, really well. No, not there. See? It's already crooked. Oh well, what are you going to do? There we go. Not enough is sticking out under here, my liking, but that's all right. I got this little 2 off over here. Okay, I'm really trying to push down, and I'm just trying to ameliorate the problems I had from this one, because I can see, like, you see that hot glue? Right? You can use just 3D glue on those other parts, but there it is. So you have a little bit of the ruffle. A little more could have stuck out right here, but that's cute. Okay. Again, this is way off right here. I feel like I should trim it off. It kind of bothers me a little bit. I can come in with a scissor and do that, but that's all right. Okay. All right. We're going to need this again in a minute, but I'm going to unplug it for now because I want to finish up a little bit about the front and back cover. I'm just waiting to do the corset part, like the proper corset part, till later. So right now, we're going to cut these guys. I was going to do black paper because, as you guys know, I had all those pieces of black cardstock from like that Hobby Lobby paper that didn't work out for me, that isn't quite 8.5 inches wide. And so I have these pieces, and I thought, well, black is kind of striking, so I thought it'd be fun. I don't know. But cut it from whatever color you like. But this is your main piece, so yeah, let me check that out. I think I can only get one off of each of these guys, though. Yeah. So anyway, I'm just going to run these through. We need 4 of them. You can do 6, 8, whatever amount you want. I'll do 4 because that's basically what it's asking here, and it'll make a quicker tutorial. So I'm going to run this through 4 times. How do you want to matte layer this? Do you want a background piece? Do you want also this piece? This is what I was saying right here, that you can put these guys together and make a frame. So that's also very cute. But essentially, you're supposed to use this to help you crop your photo. Like you have your picture and you kind of just put that on there, run it through, right? So that's for your photos. You have these other pieces. So right now I'll run through and get 4 of these black pieces, these pieces. But that means you're going to need, it says 4, but you actually need 6 of these. That's if you want to decorate the back of the book, right? So these 4, but then you have the back if you want to put some more things on it. You don't have to, right? I mean, obviously when people open this, they're probably just going to look at this side anyway. So if you want to do 6, you need 6, but I will do 4. Why not? Just leave that back empty also. So 4 of this color, whatever you want, 4 of whatever you want from this, right? And I'll be right back. Oh my gosh, you guys, as I'm cutting this stuff out, you totally noticed this, didn't you? That I put this on back. I was taking my time to be like, oh, I gotta put this on here. I can't believe I still went 2 different things, but that's all right. Oh well, what are you gonna do? Okay, let me continue cutting. I think I'm gonna cut these just from a cream color for this part. So I have those guys, I have these guys, and that's kind of why I went. I was like, oh, let me see what other color I want to bring in here. And when I looked at it, I'm like, why am I seeing this paper, this one? And I realized, oh, I glued it in the way I intended to originally, but then I changed my mind and all that good stuff. But oh well. There you go. Okay, I'll be right back. Okay, I will say this held on to a lot of the little dots in here, so I just sort of line them up together and punch them out, at least a few of them, a couple at a time. That way it gets done pretty quick, because it held on to almost every single little bit that was in there. Okay, so let's keep those there. We have this. Sorry about my little oopsie, but again, I was just kind of trying to use up the paper that I have. I don't have any plans for giving this to anybody. Like, I don't even know who I would give it to, but again, use the colors and things that you think that recipient would like. Okay, so they're showing in there to go ahead and glue this down, then do the next one, but I'm going to glue them together separately. This definitely needs to get covered. Look, that's hot glue that just got stuck on there. So you have this, you have the tab, right? And so let me see if they're going to fold. This is probably going to go this way first. So I always like to score first, guys, but you know, whatever you want. So this, you can imagine this is this way, and then the next one's going to score backward. I'm just scoring them now. And then the next one you glue on is probably going to score forward. And then we're going to cut the glue tab off of one of these. So, okay. So like I said, in the picture they're showing you to go ahead and glue it down, put some glue, put the next one, and then you're going to kind of score it after you're doing that. But I like to score things ahead of time, and I'm not going to glue it here and then assemble it. Actually, that's the back side. We're not going to glue it there either. There we go. Something like this. Okay, I can't believe that. I still can't believe it. Okay. It's because I was talking about how they weren't lining up right, and I was kind of switching the papers around, then I ended up on the wrong side of what I wanted, but that's okay. So, take one, put the next one on there, and I'm just going to line it up really nicely, giving it some slack so that when you fold it on that score line, it's not like crunching itself. So I always double check. And it did move out quite a bit. What else was I going to say about this? Oh yeah, so if you decorate the backside, what I want to show you is that you're definitely going to see this. It's there. And when I say definitely, it's hard to see. Like here, it's like right there, and then right here. But that's why it's nice to put another layer on the back too, because you're kind of covering that area up. Okay, so again, it goes like this. This next one is going to go in here like this, and see how it has a different look because it's going to go on the outer portion of this. Anyway, so let's get this guy going right to the very edge, especially on this one, since this guy's going to be right there. Has the fold kind of back on itself, mountain and valley folds all along. And I'm just looking that it's nice and straight. I was just realizing today, Dorian wants to go to wrestling, so he's not going to be home till 6. Miranda has choir until 4, and my son has a new job. second or third week there. He works until 4, so I have the whole day to myself. Like, literally no one here. So that's very nice moving forward. Now, summer's coming up, and that means I have to, you know, do things very early in the morning and just hang out with the kids in the afternoon. But, you know, we'll cross that bridge when we get there as far as making tutorials. You're going to cut a glue tab off of one of these. I don't know if it says that here. Oh, I see what they're doing. Okay. For them, they didn't say to cut a glue tab off, but that's how I did mine. What they're saying is to glue that onto here and go ahead and put glue on both this side and this side and glue it together like this, which is kind of, no, not doing that at all. So that's what they're saying, but if you want to do that, go for it. I'm just going to cut this glue tab off, and I'm probably going to use a paper trimmer just so it looks nice, even though I've already kind of messed my book up by using the wrong paper over there. So I'm going to put that right on where I see that score line, and I'm going to cut that off. And then I'm going to glue this on nicely like this, covering that up, right? So here we go. But what they're recommending is kind of like in a pop-up, sticking those two together, which kind of like in a pop-up would be problematic because, and I say this every time, two things like that cannot take up the same space. So one's going to have to crunch up in a weird way, and I don't like doing that. So that's just my way around that, making it look a little nicer. Okay, so there you go. Right, that's essentially the book. And if you want to keep going, you would keep going, right? 6, 8, 10, whatever it is you want to do, you just keep going. So for this one, it's just these guys. And while that's kind of setting up, I'll go ahead and glue these together, which is literally just this stuff. And I kind of put the glue just in the very center because I like the way it looks like ruffly lace instead of putting glue on the very edge over here. But if you want to, you can definitely put glue on the very edges. I just thought it looked a little more delicate, a little more lacier, a little more lacy if I didn't glue that down. Okay, I'm going to do all 4 the same way. I'll be right back. Okay, guys, so we have all these. Again, you know, you want to stick them down now or afterward. It doesn't really matter, but I'm going to stick them down right now that this is just sitting out here. So again, glue, wet glue is my friend. I always like to use a wet glue. And hopefully, you know, seeing this get put together gives you some tips as you go along. I mean, you can definitely use this for other projects. That'd be really cool. Maybe a different shape on the outside. Maybe I can follow up with the tutorial on that if you guys would like. Let me know. Because I know the shape of this, you know, is very much for certain very specific occasions. But once you have some of these pieces, I think it'd be nice. And I do not know what I did to my finger that made it bruise like that. Actually, I went to lock the door, and we have like one of those things where you can put it to the side like a, I don't know, and it keeps the door from opening. Do you know what I'm saying? Kind of like they have at hotels. And some paint chipped, I guess, because it's always hitting a certain area of the door. So when I went to do that, I, you know, just went to grab it, and I don't know what happened. My finger grazed the door in a way that the chip went right down into my finger, like with a piece of wood. You know what I'm saying? Like, and it hurt so bad, like you couldn't even believe. And I've had 3 kids, and I was like, oh, it's like, it was right under my nail, right? Just right under the nail. So I finally find tweezers. You know, I basically came here, I was like looking for tweezers, pulled it out, and it was like longer than you think. It just came out, kept coming. I was like, ooh. And then a couple days later, this happened. So I'm like, oh no, flesh-eating disease. Something, because it's on the opposite side. It went in here, and I got this weird bruise. But I'm assuming it all happened at that same time, because I was pinching my fingers so hard too, like holding it, because it felt better than if I was just leaving it the way it felt. Oh my gosh, I can't even explain it. So I think I bruised myself, hopefully, because it's less painful today. But when I started noticing, I'm like, how did I get a bruise? And on the opposite side of that, you know, if that's even why that happened. But hopefully it goes away soon, because it looks bad. Doesn't hurt anymore, so that's good. So I apologize for that if you've been seeing that in my videos recently. But look at that, okay? So again, 2 more on these back sides if you want. But basically, we're going to glue this into our book like this, right? So, again, I like wet glue, so I'm going to put some wet glue on this. If you want to use... I will say, sometimes when you're using hot glue on paper, things come apart. I don't know if you noticed that. Because you have to work really quickly. You saw what I did, and I didn't even work quick enough for that to work super well. So just keep that in mind. Okay. I was thinking about switching out so that this is the front of my book and this is on the inside, but I was like, you know what? It's already done. What's done is done. We'll leave it there. Okay, so we have this. And again, you can decorate that front panel before we put it together. I'm just putting it together because I don't know why. It just seemed easier for me last time. I did say I was going to trim this away. I kind of want to. I don't like the way it sticks out so much. But if I did it, I have to be really careful with it. I'm just going to leave it for now, I guess. Okay, so we're going to take this guy. If there are any other things that you want to embed and stuff like that, think about, or put like a little flourish in between this. You know, get those things going. All right, and I'm just eyeballing this. And I'm gonna hold that down for a little bit before we check it out. Okay, so that is essentially the front. The back already has that little ruffle. And then here is the inside of the book. And you know what? I mean, obviously they're different, but it's not that. To me, it doesn't distract my eye that much. And then we have also decorations that we can put around here and there, so that also kind of fills that in too. So, okay, so there's that. Again, you can also add more on the back. Okay, and funny enough, if I keep it focused like this, you don't even see that. Because whatever, unless the person turns around and they're like, oh, it's missing a piece. But again, we can put a sticker there, a little flourish, something that covers that up. Okay, so that's that. Now, the front of this guy. So I just use this Dollar Tree organza. Obviously, you know, your kit's going to come with some beautiful things to use. We already have these pieces that we're going to need, right? The straight ones. We have the crunched up ones that we're going to decorate with. So it's up to you, whatever you want to do. I have another little idea too that we can use here. So basically these pieces, you have a left and right. Thank goodness, right? So that I turn one around. You have a beautiful left and rights here. And this is all we're going to be using. So I still have things in there from last time. It's going to, you know, do the embossing for you. Now I'm going to use a pattern paper. I ran out of the paisley paper. That was it. So what I'm going to do is look in my stash, and I'm going to try to use like a pattern paper that just has like maybe some gold foiling. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'll find out and I'll show you what I'm thinking. Actually, hold on. I want something kind of basic. Look at this. Griffin Floral Paper Anthology. Oh my gosh, I love this paper. Oh my goodness, let's get this lid off. I was gonna say, why come this isn't coming off? I want something, see, this is single-sided paper. Like this might work. That would be really pretty because it has like the striping, like feels some pretty fabric, you know? I mean, this is okay too. I don't really know how I was gonna use this paper anyway. That might work. This one's pretty, but we have that paisley. I was thinking about something that has like gold foil. I don't think I'm gonna find it in here, what I'm thinking. Wait, hold on. Oh, this one's cute, right? It looks like Victoria's Secret pajamas. That's a cool one. No. Oh, something like this. You know what? I kept digging here. I'm gonna use this one. Only because I brought it in green on the other, you know, on the inside of the book. And maybe that'll pull that in somehow to make it match in some way. Again, I'm just using whatever I have here. So, okay. I'm just gonna run this through. Now these vines definitely look like they go up and down like this. So let's, you know, just like that. You're just gonna need your left and your right. And I'll be right back. Just gonna run those through. Okay guys, so we have these pieces, and they were really tight to run through this Spellmiter's machine, which is nice because you're gonna get that embossing without having to do anything to get the embossing. But I am using a pattern paper, so it's hard to see, but hopefully you can kind of see that pretty embossing all over it. Gorgeous. Okay, so we have these pieces. I don't know. Again, I'm just throwing things together for an example. I feel like you can see more of this than on the other one. On this one, it just depends on how far apart you put these pieces down, right? So I will show you this right here is something we did. You can take that same die, right, that we cut these guys with. Just cut yourself a little piece of paper on the top, a little piece of paper at the bottom, and then you can just kind of fussy cut this if you want, right? A little detail, and just cut it right across the bottom, right across the top. But don't waste the paper just doing the whole thing. Just put a little paper under that little area of your die, and that's another little accent piece you would have. And then we have the white lace, and what we have right now, if you're following the instruction, are these guys that we're gonna glue underneath these bodice pieces. So I'm going to heat this guy up and get ready to put these other pieces on. And that is what they're showing you, and I'll back up on the instructions so you can look at your instructions and kind of still follow along. We're going to turn these guys over. And it's going to be a little more difficult with this because these little holes, you definitely will see what's going on behind it. So, you know, I'm going to use my hot glue, but, you know, I'll do my best. So that's what they're showing you here. It says pleat number 4, a set of lace borders, add adhesive, and adhere to the back side of the corset pieces, right? So that when you turn it over, the little lace is already on the back. Do the stuff they're telling you, and then put that whole piece on the very front of your book. They did lace this a little bit differently. And anyway, okay, so I'm gonna wait for this to heat up. I mean, I literally just plugged it in. And we're just gonna glue these guys on. I feel like it's kind of a lot for this area. Maybe I'll do this bottom one first. Get a little more confidence. I do gotta clean this out, so I'll be back. In the meantime, I'll kind of eyeball this. I'm just gonna use this sheer ribbon again. Why not? Just bring some pink back in, like what's going on with some of these other areas. But this guy essentially is supposed to go around here. You're gonna glue it down in here and then tie on the side. So I do need enough string over there to do that. I guess it should be the same amount. That looks pretty good. I think that'll be enough. Okay, and then what I always do with these ends, maybe I'll cut this one at an angle to look cute too, is just burn them. Obviously, if it's a cotton thing, you don't want to do this, but I normally do this with anything that I have that's polyester, whatever the stuff is. And that'll work here, basically. Yeah. So this is going to be glued down. So I suppose you can stick that down right now just to have it. Where am I going to use? What am I going to use? Double-sided tape, maybe? Just to help hold it. And like right around there. And I'm going to put it like right here. This is going to get covered up anyway because these guys are solid panels, right? So I'm putting it off to the side a little bit just to... Okay. So that's just going to help me hold that down while I do other things. And let's see if this is almost ready. Again, we still have these 4. Oh, still got one little something in there. Oh my gosh. So again, I want to do this carefully. So the nice side facing down. I feel like I should glue it to this outer area. You put a little glue at a time. Still be careful with it. Crunching it down just to make it look neat. And if we have to cut some off, we will. Alright, so there's that. I'm just going little by little, and I'm barely trying to put the glue on that ruffle, not so much in the holes, if I can help it. It starts getting a little bit wonky, I'm not going to lie, as you're working. And this one I'm definitely going to cut off whatever's left. You are going to cover a little bit of this up anyway with that the straight pieces. So I want to get too caught up in if you have any left over like I do right now. All right, just a little last bit. We're going to turn over and see what it looks like. See? Because I glued it down here just to make it look a little neater, and then we can just trim that off. Right? I'll do the same thing with the other side. Cute. Okay. And same thing up here. Again, I'm going to try to be careful to just stick things down there and not get so much glue all over the place. Nope, come over here. Yeah, this glue's already setting up before I even get there. And I'm just following the shape. And just doing my best. This is a little when I put a big line of glue, you know I'm kind of over it. I'm just like, okay, let's just get this going to the end there. There we go. Cute. And again, I glued it right to the very edge. I mean, you can bring it down further, but if you bring it down further, you're not going to see that much of it, right? If you try to glue it down here, you can see it's almost the same height, so you're not going to see it. So I was trying to get it up towards the top to really show. I think that looks really cute. Okay, I'm going to do the same thing for this side. Okay, just finish that side, and there we go. Let me unplug this. And let's see here. Okay. So we're going to put these guys on here after we lace them up and all that kind of stuff. Also, we're going to pop these on. So let me see in the picture. That's funny. You know, we all have our little oopsies. This one is exactly the same. See, it's the ruffles out here and then the ruffles over there. Does that make sense? They put them down like this. So they kind of layer in together. But what I did on mine is I did one way, one the other way, because I thought it looked cuter. So like this. So whatever it is that you want, but basically you're going to glue that on here. So what I'm going to do is just put some glue. I'm not going to fuss with like the skinny nature of that other side there. So I'm just going to put glue on the very edge of this. All the way up. I'm going to take this guy. And stick that down wherever I think looks best. Kind of covering that, kind of covering this. Yeah. And it's right on the edge. So whatever it is that you want to do with yours, do it that way. And I'll do the same thing on the other one, but I am going to put the ruffle so that it faces each other like this. Right, so they're the same. If I was to buy something at the store and it had the ruffle, one facing one way, one facing, you know, saying the opposite, or like the same direction, I would think there was a problem with that one. So I'm gonna put it like this. Okay, I'll be right back. Okay, I put these guys right next to each other so I would have a good idea that they're both basically the same-ish. Let that dry and then we'll get it laced up. All right, so they lace theirs in a very interesting way. You can do whatever you like. You know, I don't even know. I can't remember what I did last time. So if I'm going here and then there and then there, there. So see, I need more than that. Maybe like this much. I would say that's a good yard of this. And let me cut this. I'll probably singe it at the end once I'm done. You can singe it now, that way it doesn't fall apart, but I don't know that that's the biggest deal. I remember sticking this down. They're showing to go ahead and lace it up and then stick it down, so whatever you think is better. If you want to stick it down and you feel like you can work behind it, you know, go for it, but they're basically showing you just to lace it as it's in front of you, you know? I'm pretty sure I stuck mine down on the other one and I just used like a needle to help me lace it from behind, but that's all right. So let's bring this through here. I'm going to lace it the way they're showing, which is a little bit different than the way I laced it. Here and through here. And, you know, just get it nice. There we go. Make sure I have enough on both sides. I do not. Let me pull this through. I'll be right back. I'm just going to adjust this so that they're even. This already is more painful than... So what I'm trying to say is last time I glued these down and then I had a little needle on the end and I just kind of laced from behind, you know, just while it was stuck down. But right now we're doing this kind of out here. So, yeah, I mean, you can just start. So if this one's coming from here, I guess it can go over here. And if you're going to do a little bit at a time, or if you're going to do one up, you know, and around doing its thing. Sorry about that noise. I know it sounds gross. And this one also through here. And then down, right? Because we're out here. You guys know how to lace things, so I don't know if I need to spend too much time with this one, especially because I have to kind of get these through the little holes. But again, then coming out from behind, and then one more cross. Mine, I did it like this. I started from behind, and then there's a lot more lace going on, right? A lot more lacing, which I think looks really cute. And this one, you're just going to have a couple crisscrosses. So I'll finish up. Again, it's not, guys, just come up from behind, and then finish off your crosses. I'll be right back. Okay, so that's the last bit. So cute. And again, you can arrange it while it's here. Otherwise, if you were just doing it while it's, you know, already glued down like I did, it's just going to be where it needs to be because this is already stuck down in a way. Let me pull a little bit more of this out. Need to release a little slack here to get that going. And that's it. So I can tie the knot in just a moment. So we're going to bring this back over now. I put away my hot glue gun, so that's up to you. If you want to 3D use dimensionals, which is basically what she asked for you to use, dimensionals. But I'm just going to stick this down. So, oh my goodness. Trying to figure out how I want to do that because of this glue, and I do want quite a bit of glue, so I'm going to really push on this because I want that to stick down really nicely. Obviously all in here. This stuff is going to be off the edge anyway, so I'm not really going to deal with that. I'm just going to put as much glue as I can all around here, all in there. You can put a little glue here, why not? But I'm just not putting enough to like really glue that down. Okay, so there. All in here. Oopsie. Maybe, like I said, a little across here, but not the biggest deal. And I'm going to try to squish it down too. So maybe put a little more. Okay, like there. You can take these little stickies off or just leave them. I mean, you're not going to see them anyway. And if it helps, you know, keep it down, might as well just leave it. So I'm just stretching this out a little bit. Again, this should be smaller than this pink piece, you would think, but it's basically meeting up. So there you go. Okay. All right. There's a lot of like things going on here. Okay, I'm gonna hold this down, and when I mean I'm gonna hold it down, you already know that means I'm gonna put something else on top of this to keep it held down with some weight, like a good amount of weight on top. So grab this thing, and oh, this is a little short one. Put that on top of there. I don't know if this is enough weight, but it'll be enough for now. Okay, I'll be back. I'm cleaning up. I will say that's not too bad, I guess, because I started at 12:30 and it is 2 o'clock right now. So, not the worst. Ooh, Nouveau Crystal Glaze to put little dots here and there. That'd be cute. I gotta put that away. That's why it's there. I don't know if this is ready. I don't think it is. Well, I mean, look how nice and flat that is. That's all I'm looking for. Okay, I'm gonna leave it a little bit longer. I'll be right back, especially since I still have like 2 hours to myself. All right. That looked really good, though. I did want it nice and flat. That was part of my issue over here with this one, I'm telling you. It just, I need to get in there with either some more glue that's not sticky glue. I don't know if you can see. It's just the double-sided tape is in there, and it doesn't keep up, guys. Look at that. See, I don't know if you can see the shininess of it. But this is cute. So if you want to do this, again, just that little edge of your dies, and then just cut it off. Just fussy cut it. And put that on there so it gives a little different bit of a look, right? All right, I'll be back. Okay, guys, let's see what we got. We got a little sneak peek there, but now we're done. Let's move this out of here. You guys ever watch Hunky Dory videos? I haven't seen them in a long time. They do lives when it's like 3 in the morning over here, and they make all these projects, but they always clean up everything, and then they show you, you know, what they just made, which I always think is cute. Okay, so let's cut these and make them look a little nicer. Get a little heat going on those, and do our little bow. Like, so that was about a yard of the ribbon, so you know, whatever you think works for you. And all we're gonna do is just tie that. I like having put that weight on it. I really like the way it looks because it's very squished down, and I don't think anything's going anywhere. So that's really good. Now this is a lot bigger than, you know, you need. So maybe a yard is a little too much. but that's all right. There we go. And so that's the front. This is the back. This is supposed to wrap around the back to the side here, and you have your little knot or your little bow right on the side. We'll check that out in just a minute. But let's take that apart and open it up. And yeah, I mean, the colors, I don't think that's too bad. It's different, but not too bad. Very cute. And then the back is just this plain. Now again, pattern paper would look lovely because it just keeps it going, right? And then if you want to decorate the back, you would also have matte layers there, and you can decorate the back. Maybe you want to put a little matte layer and just write a little note, you know, about what it is the album's about, what you think, you know, something cute. We have all these beautiful things. Of course, your kit does have, let me show you. Sorry, the kit does have all these cute sentiments or things that, you know, collecting memories, special moments. How do I love thee? Let me count the ways. That's cute. Oh, you got some boudoir photos in there. I don't know. I don't know what the idea behind this is, guys. Forever love. It's really cute. Just very, very specific. Love in bloom. That's lovely. And then you have all these cute things. Like I do love that this comes with, you know, these birds, and it just looks really nice. Like out here, right? It does say something about these flowers. I'm like, I don't know where they got those flowers from because I don't see them. I don't know. I don't think those flowers are in this kit. If they are, maybe, let's see if it's this one. Let me check really quickly because those are interesting. It might be something you have to build up yourself. Oh yeah, that's what it is. I don't know if you can see these. They're just single. So you basically just build them up yourself. Lots of cute things. Again, a little smaller scale on these. So I'm going to grab stuff from the Paisley kit because that's what I used. Oh, it also has vellum pieces. Just really cute. It's a nice, the kits all were very nice. I think they were very generous too in what is in them as far as amounts. So I know a lot of times people are curious of that. I mean, you can even have a journaling card. I have all these little flourishes, whatever it is that you want to add. I mean, how pretty is that already? Not that one's a little too big, but let's see. I like that. I was gonna say maybe something smaller. But again, you're kind of covering things up, and if that's what you want to do, you know, go for it. If you don't, then don't. Let me see if I have some kind of sentiment I can pop on here. Okay, this is way out in left field. Look at this, 12 sentiments. I haven't looked at these or used these in a long time, and all I did was open it to see what kind of sentiments are in here for my wonderful friend. I don't know. I don't know what people are, you know, doing with these things. That looks cute. I like that. I mean, it can be anywhere really. Oh, maybe there. Okay, well, let's stick this one down. And then again, maybe you want to fire up your glue gun for some of this stuff because I feel like we're going to have a lot of thickness here, but let's put that there. You know, it's on top of this stuff. We can definitely stick this down. Or, again, I've been leaving these carriers on, but I have heard from people when you leave the carrier and you know, go to glue things down that they fall off sometimes as they're being shipped around and stuff. So I'm going to take it all off, but I'm going to put some dimensionals back here to help support this. That looks pretty. Okay, so let me take the carriers off. And then the one, that top corner, I'll just stick down. Maybe you want to put, again, hot glue, some extra glue because it's kind of lumpy with everything else that's on here. Right? Okay, let's stick this down. And I mean, if you want to bring paisley into this, you know, we have paisley shapes and stuff, but I think the flowers will do. That's so pretty. Okay. Sorry, I have my composter going. I'm telling you guys, I use that thing every day. I did review it for a company, but honestly, I love it. Okay, so we have that. And when you open it up, you know, we can pop different little things here and there. That looks cute. You know, that's kind of a lot, but why not? Maybe have it there. Oh, this is so adorable. I love this one so much. Oh, got a little rip there. I'm going to go ahead and stick this one down. I'm going to leave a little bit of cover behind this, but when I put my picture in there or whatever, just take that off, you know? So for now, let's stick that down. That looks nice. I mean, again, do you want all that? Can just be a little bit. Decorate all the different corners. I mean, we have some flourishes. You guys are probably tired of seeing this. I really use that up really, really well. I mean, again, down under here, maybe there. That's off to the side, maybe a little bit here. Kind of like just the way it looked with this little guy. Well, maybe not. You see, when you take it away, then you're like, oh, actually, that looked nice with that little something. Just not enough stuff over here. See, I'm telling you. Oh, how about a smaller one? There's a little something, but it's just a little bit smaller. Yeah, let's go with that. Okay. Again, I have tons of these guys I can just mess around with from that kit. I'll include the link also to the Paisley kit. I believe they have one they call a mini album. It's not really a mini album. It looks like it's the kit, but without the scrapbook. I've ordered things on HSN where it had the supposedly it was a lower price. It was a kit without the scrapbook, but it came with the scrapbook anyway. So I don't know, especially because they're calling it a mini album and it's not a mini album, the Paisley one. But I will link the one that costs less because, yeah, who wouldn't want to do that? Again, you know, I would pop that there. It looks really nice. I love these. And since the back is just the back, I'm not going to take time to cover up my little oopsie back there. But if you wanted to, you know, just stick that down right there. Hold on, I'll show you what I mean. Okay, so let's just pretend that happened. Obviously, the back is the back. But if I'm going to decorate this side, I have my matte layers. And, yeah, it's right here. I was like, where is it? Right here. I would just try and get something that would work, right? If it might be something like this, it might be a sticker, maybe like the sticker we used over here where this guy, you know, going down the side, or just kind of cover it up like that and, you know, have some other flower over here. Oh, cute. Look the way it looks with that one popping out. But I will say, this is the issue right here. But anyway, just try to cover it up as best you can. Again, I'm not decorating this backside. So that is it. That looks really pretty. I love these colors together. So we got there. I had my little oopsie, this one, which I consider in my mind because that's how I am, and that's why I don't like, you know, dwelling too much on projects or putting it together. And some people like that about my channel. Some people hate that about my channel. They're like, hey, get it together, you know, do your thing and come to make the video when you're ready. Like, I don't do it that way, and I don't think you do it that way at home either. You have to kind of go along as you go along, right? And so I had my little oopsie, but it's not that bad. All right, there you go. So there it is. And we have our little bow here on the side. And you can tie it so it faces out, or like right now I'm tying it so it's kind of facing in. Do you know what I'm saying? Like the tails. Maybe I should do it this way. Okay, let's tie it from this side. Anyway, so there you go. Again, I can make this smaller, but really pretty. Again, the backside's very plain because I did what I did with the coral paper, but there you go. Ooh, another idea with this one is run it through like a larger embossing folder. I think it would work in some of those wider embossing folders. But anyway, thanks for watching. I hope that gave you an idea on how to create this. Again, you would have everything in your kit. I just used things that were in my stash and still came up with something pretty in my mind. And look at that. All right, guys. See you at the next one. Pictures are coming up. Links will be maybe embedded in the video down in the description box. And I will see you at the next one. Bye now.